He was shot and killed by a traveling salesman. So recently I showed you an absolutely amazing, incredibly detailed headstone out in the Waverly Hall Cemetery. And today I thought we would come and find the guy who carved that incredible headstone. So his headstone reads, "My husband, our father, H. McCauley, native of Ireland, died in this city," that's Columbus, Georgia, December 1st, 1880. We'll come back to that in just a minute, age 50 years. So doing research, I found out that Henry McCauley's kind of an interesting character. So Henry McCauley came to Columbus in 1854. He was a native of Ireland, and he brought several other stonecutters with him and set up a headstone making shop here in Columbus. During the Civil War, he served in the Georgia Infantry, and his unit apparently voted him to be captain of their unit, but General Henry Benning protested that, and because he knew Henry McCauley personally. And apparently Henry McCauley was known for his stubbornness and his violent temper. So after the Civil War, he came back here to Columbus and continued with his making headstones business, until one day a traveling salesman came up to visit him. And while this traveling salesman was there at his shop, apparently they were joking back and forth about headstones, but this joking back and forth about headstones would turn into him having a headstone for himself. Apparently they made a joke about headstones, putting an epitaph on it that said something like he died of his drunkenness. But Mr. McCauley and this traveling salesman, they were joking back and forth. Apparently the traveling salesman reached out, tried to touch his beard or something like that, made him angry, is what I'm getting at. They went from joking to being angry, and they were fighting. They were fist fighting, you know, getting the fist out. And according to newspaper reports, Mr. Henry here pulled a knife on the traveling salesman. And the traveling salesman had a gun with him, and he gunned down Henry McCauley. He shot him. Newspaper report says he shot him in the forehead. The bullet went under his brain, killed him dead. He didn't die immediately, but died several hours later without saying another word. So he got a headstone from a joke that started about headstones that apparently went bad. Henry McCauley left behind his wife and kid. Says December 1st, 1880, but the newspaper report on his death is from December 1st, 1879. Henry here carved some incredible headstones. There's many here in Linwood Cemetery and others all around Columbus in the area. His headstone was made by Greer, actually has a maker's mark on it, and you can see how plain it is compared to some of his very, very fancy work. But that's him. We visited the fella who made that fancy headstone.